Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful, blessed people of God. I hope and I pray that everybody is well on this morning. We are here with a thankful Thursday. To God be the glory. We have made it. Your girl is in full multitask mode. Get that up. Full multitask mode. I know I'm a little, then I'll create another. But um, yes. So again, your girl is multitasking. But I did want to get on here and say good morning to each and every one of you. Good morning, sis. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is just one of those productivity day. And I give God glory for that. So I'm like middle of doing everything. I'm trying to get myself set up for the day. And honestly, I was up last night. I don't know why I didn't do this last night. But I think sometimes we just be a glutton um, for this type of lifestyle. We just be a glutton for it. So I said, okay, you should have did this last night, but you didn't. All right. So we got the allergy medicine completed. So yay, go me. And I'm getting this, the additions. I'm getting my additions and I'm adding those to my repertoire as I am printing out my paperwork for where it is that I need to go on today. Listen, sometimes it be like this, right? Sometimes it be like this, and you gotta make it do what it do. You gotta multitask. Hey, Kendra, blessings to you, Queen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Carol, blessings to you. Okay, gang's all here. Thank you so much. Teresa's in the house. Good morning, mighty women of God. I hope and I pray that you all are doing phenomenally well on today. If you have not taken your additions, that's my supplements. If you haven't taken your additions for today, this is your reminder to do so. So I'm getting my goodies in, getting my goodies in as I'm printing out paperwork for my productive day. And I don't even know how much time I've allotted myself because I couldn't get out the bed this morning. Let's just tell the truth. I could not get out the bed this morning. And I was like, whoa. And my intent, I think my alarm clock went off at 6:30, but I didn't move. I mean, I moved, but I didn't really move. I didn't move far enough that was going to help me do something and be somebody great today. I didn't move like that. And I just kind of laid in the bed. And then finally I was like, girl, you got to get up. Like I left myself, I didn't have a whole lot of time basically, and I had to jump up. I had to get showered. I had to get myself together. It was just a lot, but I give God glory that I'm doing it. Right, to God be the glory. Sometimes we get ourselves all frustrated and crazed about the timing of everything, but in all honesty, at least it's getting done. Good morning, Leslie. Blessings to you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's see what time I gotta leave out the house. Ooh, Jesus. I don't think I gave myself enough time. Might have to take the toll today. Mm, 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 mm. Yep. I'm gonna have to take the toll today because I did not give myself enough time. And this is why usually I like to do this at night. So I know how much time I need, and then I can play that game as to whether or not I'm going to lay in the bed just a little while longer. I give myself that time. Okay. Let's see what time that says. All right, let's aim for that. Let's aim for that, Shaniqua. All right. So this morning is going to be a quick message. It has to be because your girl's got a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to take this last pill. But I said, let me be obedient. Let me get on because I started to throw a message up to say, hey, you guys, I'm late. I'm running behind schedule. I'm not going to make it. But I said, no. This is a part of the commitment. This is a part of the kingdom building work. So I got to do this, right? So as we are focusing on those things that are going to have that's going to produce, right? So we said we don't want to just be productive and we can't see the fruits of our labor. Like, what are we producing? And so I know for me, this is my motivation. This is my time to hear what thus saith the Lord, to have a chuckle with the Holy Spirit, and to get my motivation and encouragement, right? So, and I believe that is the reason why you all stop in as well, that you come in and get your dose, right? We were talking yesterday about getting that fix. Come on, don't act like you ain't never been in need of something. We don't want to call it an addiction, but something that you crave, something that you just had to have, and you enjoyed that feeling that it gave you, that rush, whether it's eating chocolate or whatever your passion of choice is that makes you feel on top of the world. And so we have to make certain that we create that space, that balance, to be able to get that fix. And I don't know about you also, if anybody missed yesterday's message, please do yourself a favor and go back and watch it. Let me see, what did I call it on YouTube? So for those of you who are on YouTube, you can just simply go to the page. It was titled "It's an Inside Job," and so just look for it's the one right next to it. It's called "An Inside Job." If you're on my Facebook page, I think it's called "The Strength in You." I didn't switch the titles up because don't nobody be having time to do all of that. But it was a really, really good message. So if you missed yesterday's message, I definitely want to send out, uh, you know, just to give you the charge to go and make certain that you take a look at it, because the Lord really did show up. It kind of piggybacked on the conversation about the imposter syndrome. So I told you all I had the pleasure of speaking in a group talking about imposter syndrome, how to find your strength. Like, I didn't know my own strength, how to, walk in that boldness, that authority, that God-given authority, and combat imposter syndrome. And so the Lord really did show up and show out. Thank you so much, Kendra. Kendra was in the space. And so yesterday's message that I did on my live was kind of like a continuation of that. So make certain you go back and check out yesterday's message, because it was impactful. Thank you so much. I give God all the glory for it, and I thank Him for my obedience, that I was obedient to the call, that I didn't allow the distractions of the world, I didn't allow the busyness of the world to deter me from doing what it is that God has destined me to do. And it is to make an impact, right? And the impact produces. So when people feel empowered, when people have the knowledge, right? Because that's what it was about. It was about knowledge. As we were saying yesterday, dealing with imposter syndrome and all of the imps and everything that comes with it. It's not about me fixing you. I can't fix you, right? To God be the glory. Thank you, Carol. I can't fix you, right? It's an inside job. Just like none of you could fix me, right? It's an inside job. So it's not until we understand that we have that power, that we have that strength, and that's when the shift happens. So it starts with the understanding. So if you don't leave the place feeling warm and fuzzy, okay, well, it wasn't meant for you to feel warm and fuzzy. It was meant to plant a seed. And that seed is an inside job. And it's your job to now till it, to nurture it, to support it, to love on it. Amen. Thank you so much, Teresa. I'm telling you, the Lord showed out. And I don't know about you or everybody who was on the line yesterday. I felt the shift. I don't know about y'all. I felt the shift. But I came here for my fix. I didn't come here for your fix. I came here for my fix, and I got it. I got it. I felt it. I was like, "Whoo, Jesus!" I was like, "Yes, sir." I felt it, and it felt good, and it was the high that I needed to get me started, to get me going. But what we needed to understand is the ebbs and flow. So you gotta have a moment to bring yourself down from the high as you're going on throughout your day. And so to God be the glory. When I left the line yesterday, I was on fire. I was like, this is good, Jesus. I was like, this is good, good. And then I made it to my first client's, to my client's place. And I sat there. I got there early. I got there early. I was like, to God be the glory. I sat there and I had a moment to sit there. So not just, okay, I'm here, boom, rushing to the next thing. I had to give myself a moment. And so when we give ourselves those moments of pause to go from one space to the next space to the next space, that's how we do the most benefit to ourselves. But when we're just running from one activity, from one high to a low to a medium one, like when we're doing all of those ups and downs, our body, it's like what is it? Vertigo. You all have heard of vertigo. The nurse always got to come up with some type of nursing analogy, right? Because that's what I know. I speak what I know. And for the past 20 plus years, that's what I know. And so vertigo is like that where your equilibrium is off. And when your equilibrium is off, you feel it. Like you start feeling like the room is spinning, but yet you sitting still, you trying to take a step, and it's like the sidewalk, the flooring is moving, and it can make you sick. It can literally make you sick to your stomach. It debilitates you. It makes you have to go lay down, right? Because one of the fixes for it is to lie still and to be in a dark space. You may have to cover your eyes so your body and all of its faculties now has a moment to adjust, right? And we don't give ourselves that adjustment period. Now nobody's saying you got to lay down and take an hour nap in between activities, but at least 2 or 3 minutes sitting still, taking deep breaths in through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth. My brother talks about, and he's not the only one that does it, but him and I had the conversation about the four. It's like a box. So you do it 4 times, the in through the nose, the out through the mouth, and you strategically do it for the count of 4. So you're inhaling 4, holding it 4, exhaling it 4, and you're going around it and doing it 4 times. That literally can give you the pause that you need. I have a coach that talks about the pause, right? So before you make a decision, before you jump to doing something, because I don't know about y'all, but that's me. I am the queen of the spontaneity. I have always been spontaneous. I do spontaneous things. I will get up and I'll have a grand idea and I'm like, woo! And I get a high from it. I literally get a high from my grand ideas, from the spontaneity. I get a high from it. But what ends up happening, and I can say this to all of my leaders on the line, what ends up happening when you get that high of creativity, then you start creating, and then there's the turnaround. And so, and I've done this. I've done this. I'm not talking about nobody but myself. I've done this where I've literally created content and I'm on a high. Oh, this looks so good. Like I literally have had like months worth of content in my phone. But then what happens? The momentum turns and then it fizzles out. And then all of the beautiful posts and content that I had intended to put up and to schedule out never gets seen. Never gets seen. I've got loads of content in my phone, posts that I have created, and the world has yet to see it. Why? Because the momentum shifted, something happened, life happened, and now all of a sudden I can't continue in that same flow. Well, it wasn't meant for us to continue in that same flow. Like I said, we cannot function in the spirit realm while living here in the natural. We get a opportunity. The Lord allows us opportunities to go and get a taste of it, right? So that our body gets acclimated to it. But we cannot be there all the time. We can't stay there all the time. So we have to be able to shift, right? We've got to be able to blend. We've got to be able to pause as we go through it, right? Exactly, right? You come up with something real savvy to say and it feels good while you're creating it, but then it sits. And then it always sits and I never delete it because I'm always like, "Oh, you can always do this later." And then later never happens. But that is the mind of a creative. That is the mind of a leader. We love that high when we're creating all of these new ideas and, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go here and the team is going to work on this. It feels really, really good, but we never give ourselves that interim period to shift. Right? A good leader will then throw the ball to somebody else. Okay, I've already created all of this content. Whoa, 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 I'm high. Now I need to have a strategy. I need to have a plan to say, okay, well, who am I throwing the ball to? I've already dribbled it. Now who am I throwing it to? To God be the glory. I got Kevin. So I'm like, okay, we can bounce this for a little bit and then I can pass it over to Kevin. And Kevin is like, okay, bet, my turn. Blah, 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 blah. And then he can take over that back end. But many of us, we are all we got. And that's all we have. And then we fizzle out. And then the world never gets it. It never has an opportunity to produce. You created this in this productivity phase that you went through, but it didn't get a chance to produce anything. Why? Because you dropped the ball. And it's not that you intentionally dropped the ball. No, nobody's saying that. You did good by creating. Creating was a perfect thing. That's what you were born to do. But it's just you didn't make the plan in the beginning to go through the evolution of it all, to go through the ebbs and flow of it all. You didn't build a plan that to support it. Oh, today I'm on a high, tomorrow I'm going to be on a low. You didn't create the plan to support it. You didn't safeguard it. You didn't put all of the resources and all the people in place that you needed. Here's where the destiny helpers need to arise. You need to get people that will hold you accountable. What are you working on? Tell somebody so they can hold you accountable, so that they can check in and say, "Hey, sis, how's it going? How did you work on it? Are you steps closer to it? Did you create a plan? Or are you going to just let it fizzle out? Because you created the plan, you set the goals when you had the high. But how about creating, and especially if you know this is your momentum, if this is how you flow, you got to know you. Again, it's an inside job. If you don't know you, then how can you build a plan to support you? If you know you're that type of creative that creates in the high, and then you go into a low and you're like, you want me to do what? Then you need to create a plan in the beginning that supports that. Simple as that. And the reason why many of us fail, and I don't like to use that word fail, but the reason why we don't meet the goal that we had set is because we don't set the plan the way it's supposed to be in the beginning. We set the plan for high productivity, high creativity, high energy, high momentum. The moon and the stars are in alignment. That's how we create the plan. But in actuality, the plan needs to support the what ifs. The what if this happens? The what if that happens? But the plan never does that. You never have safeguards in place because you think the car is just going to go straight on its own. There are no bumper rails. There are no guardrails. There's no grab bars. There's nothing to support you. Like many people buy homes when they're young and perky, and the joints don't crick 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 crack 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 every time they move, right? When you buy the house, you limber, you can do a split, you can run a marathon, you feeling real good. So when you go, your eyes are in this, oh, I need this fabulous home. And you go and you see these homes with these beautiful staircases, and you're like, oh, this is wonderful. They got the high ceilings, and you're like, oh, this is glorious. But you ain't thinking about the day when your bones start doing the snap crackle and pop song, and now you got to walk up and down them steps. You didn't pick it out for that. And I know that because I encountered that with many of the people who I go out to visit. Many of them. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. Your house is now no longer conducive, but you want to stay in your house. And rightfully so, because the economy is wacky. But you never set the plan to safeguard you. So when you're out and you're all limber and you're looking at this home, why don't you find something that has a little suite on the main level, has a bathroom, the simplest bathroom, don't have to be nothing convoluted, or at least has the space. So in case you got to do renovations or anything like into that, you have it available. But we buy in our high. We buy in our high. That's why my coach says, before you do that, can you pause? Can we think about it? Okay. Not saying don't do it, right? I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but can you just take a moment to breathe? Let's look at this in different levels. I got another coach that talks about changing lenses. Okay, with my rose colored glasses, this is going to work. This is perfect. This is the best thing ever. Well, wait a second. Yes, I agree with you. It's the best thing ever, but can you take those rose colored glasses off, and can you put these darker shades on? And can we build the safeguards? Good morning, Renee. Blessings to you. Can we build the safeguards? All right. So when you're in the high, right? Because it's an inside job. When you're in the high, you got to have the plan for the pause. You got to have the plan for the transitional period. Otherwise, you're going to give yourself spiritual vertigo, and your brain and your body and everything is juggling around. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And that's when overwhelm comes in. When overwhelm comes in, it opens the door and it lets everything else in. It lets the imposter syndrome in. It lets the depression in. It lets the anxiety in. It lets every other imp come on in. When you're worn out, when you're tired, when you're not giving yourself, now the exhaustion is coming in. Why? Because you didn't give yourself a chance and opportunity to shift and transition into the next thing. Last night, because I train entrepreneurs as well. So my business, A Better You, we are very multifaceted in this season. And so one of the things in which I do is I train entrepreneurs. So if you are a startup business, you got an idea, you want to flush out some ideas, you want to get a clear strategic plan, then you need to inbox me. We can do a one-on-one session. And yes, there is a fee for the one-on-one session. It's not a lot of money. You would definitely spend more in a week going to your fix of Starbucks, right? So it is an investment into your future, but at least you get a clear strategy. At least you get a sounding board to kind of to switch the lens to see if this is even feasible, because you created in your high, but is it sustainable? Is it sustainable when you get into your season of depression? Is it sustainable if SAD comes on you, like seasonal affective disorder? Is it still sustainable? Is it still sustainable when you know the holidays is coming, you know you're hosting and you got to get this and you got to cook this and you got to clean that and you got to buy this and you got to buy that? Is it sustainable? So having those consultation sessions make certain that you get a clear plan. So last night was my training day. I had to take 3 hours. I had to spend 3 hours with these budding entrepreneurs, and we talked about a lot of good things. We practiced a lot of good things. So they were ready. And yes, it was late when I was done with it. I hadn't even had dinner because that 3 hour time block is like a time warp. It like it sucks half the day away. And it's like, whoa, did I plan for this? Right? If I didn't plan for it, my mind would be all over the place. And I was like, man, I couldn't even watch the Knick game last night. I was like, whatever, whatever. So I'm in this class, I'm training. And after the class, I found myself still sitting at the desk in my workspace. I was still sitting there, just sitting there. And I'm like, well, Shaniqua, you got to get up. You got to make an executive decision. Are you going to eat dinner? It's 9 o'clock. Are you eating dinner this late? You got paperwork that you could do. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What do you got emails you got to send out to the students? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I just sat there. I just sat there. Well, why are you just sitting there, Shaniqua? You got stuff you got to do. You got to do. I just sat there because I needed to gain my equilibrium. I needed for my faculties to settle in. From being on a high, instructing, teaching, inspiring, helping, supporting, and in that momentum of doing all of that, I had to let my realms, I had to let my realms shift. Right? It's like when you're working out, there's a cool down. There's a reason there's a cool down. But you just want to abruptly stop and you want to go on to the next task. But there's a charge for that. There's a charge for that when you shift from one activity to the next without that cool down phase. And you may not get charged right at that moment. Like the doctors will let you come into their office, they will see you, they will let you walk out of the office, and they will send you a bill later for the copay. Dude, why didn't you get the copay when I was sitting in your office? Why didn't you take payment before you saw me? But no, you wait until after I get home. After weeks later, now you sending me a bill. Now I'm confused. I'm like, did I pay you? Did I not pay you? Now you got me out of my element. But if you don't do that cool down, that charge, that bill is going to hit you at the time when you don't want it to hit, and it will leave the door open for everything else to flood you and take over. So, as we are operating in our calling, in our gifting, in our inspiration, in our motivation, in our creating, and all of the wondrous things that we do in our servitude, don't forget to transition. Take a moment for yourself to settle in your thoughts, to shift gears, to move on to the next activity, to have thought, to process, to write it out. So if you like to write, you can journal it out. What am I feeling in this moment in time? What support do I need? How can I do this different the next go round? And once you're clear, you can go. If you don't have time to do all of that, at least breathe. Okay. If you don't have time to get your journal, to get your pen, to write it out, how do I feel? You don't got time for all that, at least breathe. That's the quickest reset ever. Exactly, Cal. It always comes out of the blue. You're like, what? When did I go? What? It's a trick. It's a plot twist. But make certain that you are supporting yourself as you shift. Make certain that you're giving yourself grace as you shift. Because if you don't, if you are not intentional about the shift, because the shift gonna happen. And you don't want the shift to knock you over. You don't want the shift to catch you off guard. You want to be fully aware of what's about to happen. You want the plan to be set. Because when the unforeseen happens, you won't be so, bounced around, because you've had a moment in time to get yourself situated. So we want to make certain that we have that understanding of how it is we need to flow as we are operating in our gifts, in our callings, in what God has called us to do and who he has called us to be. Amen. Okay. All right. So that's my cue. My phone is buzzing. To God be the glory, because otherwise, you guys know how I will do. I will sit here and I will politic. And I ain't got time for that today. We got to stay productive because we're producing. All right. Amen. Thank you so much, Teresa. It was just a little push that we needed. It was just a little momentum shift that we needed, so that we don't just go off creating and going crazy and stuff. We need to make certain that we're pausing and we're having an opportunity to shift gears. So before I run out the door, I got to take a moment, because I do need to bring myself down from here. I need to be able to hear clearly instead of going and just shifting, right? So be good to yourselves. Have a wonderful and blessed Thursday. Be thankful that the Lord is still on our side, no matter who's in those high offices, in those high spaces. We got someone above all. So we thank God. We give him glory. You all have a marvelous day, and I will see you all tomorrow. God willing, we'll get our inspiration, we'll get our fix, and we'll be able to move forward. Thank you so very much, Carol. Blessings to you. Hey, Taisha, girl, we signing out. Catch the replay of it. You all have a blessed day. See you all soon. Take care.